increase rates in order to keep a balanced budget. The average Marquette citizen can expect to see an increase of around $16 per month. The city will supposedly make $2 million after the rates increase. A Morisco man has been arrested for leading police on a high-speed motorcycle chase. John Gutterman Jr., aged 52, pled guilty on November 27th to both fourth-degree fleeing from police and operating a vehicle while intoxicated. Gogebic County sheriffs attempted to stop Gutterman before he did a U-turn and accelerated to around speeds of 161 miles per hour. Gutterman's sentencing date is set for February 26th.
Tuesday night. For further evaluation. Her van was traveling southbound on Stoneville Road at the time of the crash, and investigations revealed the horse was loose in the roadway. During the collision, the horse went through the windshield of the van and came to rest partially in her passenger seat. The woman was the only person in the van which sustained major damage, and due to the severity of the animal's injuries, the horse had to be put down on the scene. A fundraiser for the Nequaminan Trail Network was held Tuesday night in Marquette. About 24 snow bike riders met at Rippling River Resort for a quick ride out on the trails. The riders and hosts are trying to raise money for a matching grant program that goes to help fund trail grooming for snow bikes. Fans of snow biking say it's good for the community. And if you couldn't make it out to Tuesday's fundraiser but still want to help out, you can drop off a donation to Downwind Sports on 3rd Street in Marquette.
And it's just under 1 month until Gretchen Whitmer takes office, but her team is already making plans for things they hope to accomplish. One of the people Whitmer has been getting help from is Amy Klickner, CEO of Lake Superior Community Partnership. Klickner is a part of Whitmer's advisory committee for the Economic Development Corporation. Klickner has spoken to mining, manufacturing, and other communities on behalf of Whitmer. The Michigan government has passed bills to delay increasing minimum wage, and they scaled back paid sick leave. This move has been criticized by many people as being unconstitutional, but the Attorney General has said that the move is actually legal. These bills have been gaining momentum along party lines, and the Republicans hope to push through these bills before the parties change at the end of the month. And after the break, we'll be back with your national and international news. Stay tuned.
Fueled by creativity and passion, Michiganders are capable of doing anything they set their minds to. And on this upcoming episode of Destination Michigan, we're sharing the stories of some remarkable people who aren't afraid to put the time in and get their hands dirty to create something amazing. From the whimsical to the practical, they all have one thing in common. All of them are Michigan-made. So come along with us for this very special episode of Destination Michigan.
Friday afternoon at 1 on Public TV 13.
Welcome back. Over in the UK, Prime Minister Theresa May and British lawmakers open round 2 in the battle over the highly contentious Brexit deal. The release of previously secret legal advice has provided more fuel for opponents of May's unpopular divorce agreement with the European Union. May's Conservative government is struggling to convince skeptical legislators that the divorce struck with the EU is a good one ahead of a vote in Parliament on Tuesday that could sink the agreement and possibly cost May her job. Pro-Brexit lawmakers says it keeps Britain bound too closely to the EU, and pro-EU politicians claim the deal erects barriers between the UK and its biggest trading partner and ultimately leaves many details of the future relationship undecided. May's deal is in trouble because politicians on both sides of Britain's EU membership debate oppose it. Today is a national day of mourning in honor of President George Herbert Walker Bush, who died last week at the age of 94. Dignitaries from around the world are among about 3,000 people attending today's state funeral in our nation's capital. Nicole Killian has the latest from Washington, D.C.
The flag-draped casket carrying President George Herbert Walker Bush arrived at the National Cathedral for his state funeral. President Trump, 4 former presidents, and world leaders packed the cathedral as America said a final farewell to a war hero, statesman, and the nation's 41st president.
Through our tears, let us know the blessings of knowing and loving you, a great and noble man, the best father a son or daughter could have. And in our grief, let us smile knowing that Dad is hugging Robin and holding Mom's hand again.
Mr. Bush is also being remembered as a dedicated family man who lived life to its fullest.
The most decent and honorable person I ever met was my friend George Bush, one of nature's noble men. His epitaph, perhaps just a single letter, the letter L for loyalty.
A 21-gun salute paid tribute to Mr. Bush at the Capitol, where Americans lined up for hours this week to pay their respects. Mr. Bush was the 11th president to lay in state in the Capitol Rotunda. Members of the Bush family visited again last night to thank mourners for their support. Mr. Bush will be buried tomorrow in Texas alongside his daughter, who died at age 3, and his wife Barbara, who died in April. Nicole Killian, CBS News, Washington.
In France, protests against the president Emmanuel Macron has reached a new point on Wednesday when trade workers and farmers agreed to join the fray. The counter unit is known as the Yellow Vests, and they started their protests when the government raised fuel prices. Yellow Vest workers are demanding higher wages, less taxes, and lower unemployment rates. Macron's popularity has slumped to an all-new low, and he's been accused of being a president for the rich and not respecting the working class. Paris has seen the worst anti-government protest rise since 2005, where French students set fires outside high schools to protest a new university application system. Small business owners blocked roads to protest high taxes, and retirees marched to protest the president's elitism. Special counsel Robert Mueller is recommending no jail time for President Trump's former national security advisor, Michael Flynn. In court papers, Mueller cited Flynn's, quote, substantial assistance with the Russia investigation after he admitted lying to the FBI. Weijia Jiang is at the White House with the significance of Flynn to Mueller's case.
Prosecutors say former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn has been instrumental to the special counsel's investigation, participating in 19 interviews and providing documents and communications concerning links between the Russian government and the Trump campaign.
Lock her up, lock her up.
An early supporter of Mr. Trump, Flynn admitted last December to lying to the FBI about passing messages between the incoming administration and Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak in December 2016. And Flynn was forced out as National Security Advisor after he lied to Vice President Pence about those communications, who at the time defended Flynn on Face the Nation.
What I can confirm, having spoken to him about it, is that those conversations that happened to occur around the time that the United States took action to expel diplomats had nothing whatsoever to do with those sanctions.
The witch hunt, as I call it, should never have taken place.
The White House has been calling for the Mueller probe to wrap up as quickly as possible, but the heavy redactions indicate Mueller could be far from finished.
Mueller is very much remains on the job, his sleeves rolled up.
Harry Litman is a former U.S. attorney and Deputy Assistant Attorney General under President Clinton.
Flynn is in an ideal position to sort of explain to Mueller what were the stakes within the White House that made it so important from Trump's own personal viewpoint to try to smother the investigation.
Coming up after our break, we'll have your weather and sports. Stay tuned.
Friday Night at 9 on Public TV 13.
Welcome back. I'm Cale Rydell, going to be taking you through your weather for today. As you can see behind me on the NMU campus, we got quite a bit of clouds out there, and those look like they are not going to go away today or tomorrow. We have snow going on right now with a temperature of 27 degrees, winds out of the southwest at 10 miles per hour, and a barometric pressure of 29.92 inches and falling. Taking a look at tonight, we're going to see that snow continue, and we have lows of 22 and winds out of the west-northwest at 12 miles per hour. And then tomorrow, that snow still in effect. We're going to see a high of 24 and winds out of the north-northwest at 18 miles per hour. Taking a look across the UP, we're going to see a lot of clouds out there. The only snow happening is here in Marquette. We're going to start up in Sault Ste. Marie with 29 degrees, 28 in Manistee, 28 in Escanaba, down in Menominee with 29 degrees. Looking at the western half of the UP, we got 27 degrees in Iron Mountain, Ironwood with 25, up the Cunon, Houghton with 28, and back here in Marquette, that 27 degrees and some snow. Let's take a look at your week ahead. On Friday, we are looking at a high of 19 and a low of 14 with some sun out there. Saturday, we got the high of 29 and a low of 21 with some sun. And guess what? That sun's going to continue into Sunday, as it should, with a high of 33 and a low of 21. Well, we got some storms going on here in Marquette right now, and I hear that the Buffalo Bills were having a bit of a storm as well.
Yeah, it was a cloudy day in Marquette today, and it's a cloudy day for this former Buffalo Bills player. The Buffalo Bills recently cut wide receiver Kelvin Benjamin. Benjamin had been on the team for the past 2 seasons and had been in the NFL for the past 5. The Bills cut Benjamin due to the fact that he had been underperforming during his time with them. Benjamin ended this season with 23 catches for 354 yards and 1 touchdown. Benjamin is now an unrestricted free agent in search for a new team, and his position with the Bills is still unoccupied. And in the NHL, the Edmonton Oilers take on the St. Louis Blues tonight at the Enterprise Center in St. Louis. Although they'll have home ice advantage, the Blues have suffered many injuries lately. The most significant injury, however, being Alex Pietrangelo, the team's captain, who was placed on injury reserve Monday. The Blues will come into tonight's game 9-13-3, the team's worst start since the 2006-2007 season. The Oilers, on the other hand, stand 13-12-2. Tonight's game can be seen on NBCSN at 8 o'clock. And finally, we bring things back to the waters of NMU. Not the cold waters of Lake Superior, but the pool. NMU swimmer Rachel Helm was named GLIAC Women's Swim and Dive Athlete of the Week, following another great performance, this time at the Calvin College Invitational. Besides winning 2 of her individual events, Helm also qualified for the NCAA Championship. This was Helm's 3rd time being named Athlete of the Week this year. But that's all the time we have for you here today at Public Eye News. Tune in again tomorrow.
What a bunch of good stories.
The preceding program was produced in studios located in the Edgar L. Hardin Learning Resources Center by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television.